looks like we're about live here in the GameSpot Live studios. Sorry, folks, for starting a little bit late. Of course, I'm Ryan McDonald here with Rich Gallup.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
We're back once again, of course. On the Spot is once again proven to be the name we should have picked because, of course, it's putting us on the spot. Because if you look at your watches, I think everybody would see that it's about 4:09.
I got 4:00. What are you talking about?
Sorry about that. We're getting good. This is, of course, the second show. We're here live from the studio, so a little more technical stuff going on because we want to show you as much stuff as possible. So with that, we have a lot of fun gear that we got to get all set up. Next week, though, we'll hit it, right?
Right.
Excellent.
I promise.
So we see your questions rolling in. Thank you so much. We got a special surprise this week, though. This week, we're actually going to do what we wanted to do in the first place, and it's kind of crazy, I know, but we're actually going to throw out a phone number. But for all you kids out there that are under 18, it is a toll call. It's a 415 number, so make sure you get your parents' permission before you call in. The number for all of you to call in and ask us some questions is 415-344-1980. So
that's 415-344-1980. That's probably like the year before any of you were born.
So we're going to take live questions on the air, plus we're checking your email stuff. We already printed out a bunch of the stuff you guys threw in at us. We've got all kinds of good stuff on some of the games we got lined up for today. We got some Capcom SVC Chaos.
Well, before we give it all away, why don't we give a quick toss to co-founder Vince Brody.
I'm Vince Brody, co-founder of GameSpot, and I'm here today to bring you an important message. With the July 4th weekend right around the corner, one can't help but reflect on our country's invaluable guarantees of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And in that spirit, we are happy to announce 2 new inalienable rights for gamers. On this day, let it be known that all gamers will have free and unfettered access to all video content on GameSpot. Whether GameSpot video reviews, previews, official movies, or gameplay footage, each and every video stream is available to all. We are proud to be the first major gaming service to declare that all gamers have the right to see their favorite games in action whenever and wherever they want. And with this change, let it be known that effective immediately, all GameSpot content, reviews, previews, features, downloads, screens, and videos are available to all of our users for free. GameSpot Complete members will still enjoy exclusive access to our newly upgraded ultra high-speed FTP, our 10% discount at ebgames.com, our live coverage of E3 and other major gaming events, and all in a clean, fast, ad-free environment. Further, every gamer may now freely join the GameSpot community. Our month-long community beta test, which has already attracted over 250,000 participants, is complete, and the service is ready and waiting for you. GameSpot community makes it fun and easy for you to meet and interact with other gamers that share your interests and passions, to build collections and wish lists, create friends lists, track games, your forum postings and site contributions, and much more. Best of all, you get points for all of the above, as well as for just using the site, giving you the chance to earn new levels, rewards, and privileges in the months and years ahead. With that, and in the spirit of personal freedom and independence for gamers everywhere, have a great 4th and let the on-the-spot fireworks begin.
Announcement right there, Ryan. Everything now free on the site?
Yeah, I think that, you probably saw for a little while that the now free stream, it's like, I think that kind of gave it away for a while.
The stream for free was kind of like the sneak hint for the obvious,
Yeah, totally.
Everyone, if you can pick up on it, stream for free kind of means everything's free now, which is great because that means that many more people can now watch all the great stuff we make here at GameSpot.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, we got tons of great stuff lined up for the show.
Like what?
We got Ricardo Torres coming by talking some games.
He's cool. What games he's talking about?
He's going to be showing a live demo of Cameo. We just got the latest build in, so we're going to show that off. I know a lot of people are interested in that. Then we got some SVC Chaos, of course, some
that
Street
sounds cool.
Fighter.
Nice.
Little action there. It's of course the SNK take on what Capcom and SNK fighting is all about.
I was so nervous though that I skipped lunch. Does Ricardo have something for me in terms of food?
He does actually. There's going to be 2 things that kind of tie into to this fun trip we took to Japan. We went over there, saw some cool stuff. We're going to be showing you some of that stuff in a little bit. Plus, it's going to segue perfectly into our nice little Yoshinoya demo.
Yoshinoya, that's the Beef Bowl game. That thing's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like very Japanese, but super cool.
So I remember last week we had a thing going on where one of the producers from Madden played 2004, Madden NFL 2004, against the viewers at home. Do we have anything like that going on today?
Actually, yeah, a little bit later, since there were so many questions. I mean, there was tons of questions for Madden 2005. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to make it so that all the questions, we basically compiled them and picked like the top 5. And we called our good friend Jeremy Strouser over there at EA and asked him once again if he could answer some of your questions for Madden, and that's what we did. So we'll have that.
Cool. And also for live gaming, I think we have a couple of GameSpot editors in the house. Bethany and Ryan are sitting over yonder playing some World of Warcraft. So if you want to play World of Warcraft with Ryan and Bethany, the information you're looking for is currently in our new community feature. Go to the PC forum, the PC board. Right there, there's a sticky thread right at the top that tells you where everyone's hanging out. So meet up with Ryan and Bethany, roam around, and your character, if you're a beta tester for World of Warcraft, will be live streaming.
Speaking of live, the other thing we wanted to do is with our fun little phone number stuff, we're going to be getting some calls in. One of the focus things we want to try, I think it was Andrew Park who had the suggestion, it was Stump the Editors. We're always asking you guys at home to kind of figure out what game is what, and how many stars were there at Super Mario 64, all those kind of trivia questions. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to let you kind of turn it around on us and see if you can stump us. Specifically, our good man Greg Casavin is standing by, and he's going to be taking some questions specifically on fighting games, since he is like the world's foremost fighting game expert. So if you got some fighting game questions about any of the SNK games, Street Fighter, anything, go ahead and send them in and see if you can go ahead and stump Greg.
Also, he'll be taking questions very similar to our Ask GameSpot forum, where if you just want to know how the site works in general, don't be scared. If you don't have a fighting trivia question, just send us a question. If it's a good one, we'll get it on the air for you.
Ultimately, this show is all about you guys. We wanted to do something special. We wanted to kind of connect with you a little bit more, with the pages and the video and everything. That's all good. But here live, you can call us again, 415-344-1980. Plus, there's always the email field. It's like I got my little hip top right here, and the emails are coming in right here, so we can answer some of the questions we got. And then, of course, you ran around a little bit earlier, right?
I sure did. Last time, as I'm about to explain to you, when we were at EA Tiburon, we gave you a nice 20-minute tour showing you every single last bit of EA Tiburon Studios, and it was amazing. But we got some feedback. Some people said it was a little long. Some people, a little long-winded. We went a little too far with it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give you a tour of the GameSpot office, but bit by bit. Each week, we're going to show you different parts of the GameSpot office. So let's run the tape. We are standing outside of beautiful 235 2nd Street here in San Francisco, California. This is the CNET building. GameSpot is part of the CNET family, in case you didn't know. And in this very building, we got all kinds of web pages being made full of amazing content. Now, last week down in Orlando at EA Tiburon, we took you on a long, very nice tour of the studio. But we were told, could you tighten it up a little bit? There's a lot of cool stuff, but can you give it to us in a tighter package? So we're going to do that here when we tour our very own GameSpot offices. So today, I'm only going to show you a couple little bits. For starters, we have the patio. Pretty nice, huh? You can come out here, eat lunch. There's some bamboo over there you might recognize from Let's GameSpot. We called it the jungle of Old Bridge, I think, and the street was the highway where the trivia robot was running away. Actually, they shoot a lot of commercials here. You might have seen one for some package delivery. But right now, we're going to hop right up to the 3rd floor. It's up right around there. We're going to show you a little bit of the GameSpot office. This week's tour, we're going to show you the GameSpot arcade / living room / lounge. I'm not sure what we call it, but we got a lot of cool stuff in here. For starters, along this wall, you'll see quite a few games. This is pretty much every game that's come out for the consoles that are out there now. PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube at the end, little big rigs up there just for Alex so we can remind him of all the fun he had reviewing that game. Down this way, you'll see we got a whole bunch of Game Boy games, PC games, little sweet setup over there, and that TV, yeah, it's not so bad. We come in here occasionally, play games. But the new draw to the GameSpot arcade is, of course, our wonderful arcade machines. This is a Showtime machine right here, but it also doubles as NFL Blitz. You might remember that a couple guys here, Jeff and Ryan and Vince, are all very, very good at NFL Blitz, and I can't wait to play them. We're going to do that tonight after the show. Sorry you don't get to see that. X-Men right here, 4-player. Neo Geo with 4 different games and with everyone, the guys here, they collect a couple games, so we got a bunch of boards we can switch out of there. Like, we got some King of Fighters in there now, Samurai Showdown, Metal Slug. Good stuff. One of my favorites, Ninja Turtles, and everyone knows, of course, who's the coolest guy? Raphael, cool but rude. Oh, wait, and what do we have going on down here? I think that was perfect timing. Did someone just get fatality'd, Brad? Jeff, maybe you could tell us what happened.
I beat him. He beat me in the first round, though, which is better than he's been doing.
So this is our Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate machine, right? Not just Mortal Kombat 3. We got Jeff and Brad. A lot of the guys here like playing this game. Striker versus Scorpion. Good stuff. There's a little fridge down here. I don't drink it, but everyone else here seems to. It's good stuff. Anyways, so this is the GameSpot living room. That's a tour of all we're going to show you for the GameSpot offices this week. Let us know what you want. Make some noise on the board. Send us some emails. What do you want to see at the GameSpot office, and we'll show you. All right, back to Ryan.
All right, and we're back. So there was Rich's little look at our awesome offices. Of course, we've got some fun stuff around here. Speaking of which, fun stuff, Ricardo Torres. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
Excellent. You're here today to talk to us a little bit about some SVC Chaos, right?
I am.
And I think we got some footage of SVC Chaos. We're going to be taking a look at it as we're talking about. This is a build that literally came in like, what's it, yesterday or the day before?
Yesterday.
And that's the power of live internet action, folks. We can bring you this stuff right away. So you're checking it out right now. SVC Chaos, of course, is SNK's take on the Capcom fighting game. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's pretty much like the SNK version of the Capcom versus SNK games we've seen. The kind of cool thing is it was made on the SNK hardware.
Right on.
So it has like that look. The really neat thing about this one is that, well, for some people anyway, it's Xbox exclusive. I know it's come out on the PS2 and the Xbox in Japan, but here in the States it's going to be Xbox exclusive, and it's going to support Xbox Live, so you're going to be able to, you know, fight your friends. And somebody shot me an email earlier when they saw we were going to be talking about this and asked about some of the functionality. And unfortunately right now it's looking like it's only going to support like the standard TV resolution that, you know, we all know, so nothing like really cool like 480p or 720.
Yeah, I think one of the questions we got from Joshua Baldwin, New York, he wanted, will Xbox support HDT and 65.9, or will it, like the recent ports of 2D fighting games, only support 480i or 4x3?
Yeah, so pretty much it looks like it's just going to be TV.
Yeah.
And he also asked about the modes, and it's probably just going to have like the standard fighting modes that, you know, we sort of come to expect from 2D fighters, which is cool.
Excellent. He had a second part to his question. How will the Xbox Live mode set it apart from other fighters? I.e., will it have new and cool modes, or I guess? Right
now it's sounding like it's just going to be like the standard bunch of modes. Pretty sure that they're going to try for leaderboards and stuff like that. But, you know, being that it's a fighting game and SNK being who they are, they're probably going to try and do some cool stuff. But they haven't quite taken their reps off that yet.
Now, this one for the people that haven't played it yet, I played it in the arcade. I haven't tried the home version yet. Is it pretty much arcade perfect, or?
Yeah, it's close.
We're still looking at a 30% build, so
yeah,
it's got a ways.
It's hard to totally pass judgment on the way it's going to come out here, but I mean, it's looking really good. Like, especially if you're a fan of like the SNK art style, because I know there were some people that when Capcom versus SNK come out were really happy to see, like, you know, their characters kind of redone in the Capcom style. So
right.
Now it's the other way around, and it's just kind of cool to see a lot of the Capcom sprites redrawn.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing when we went over to Japan was we got to see some cool games in the arcade. I mean, we saw Rumblefish, right?
Yeah, we did.
Another 2D fighter, but a little different. It's got like the crazy, like, it was flash animation basically, right?
It's like they're using kind of this unique technology that's kind of based on Macromedia Flash.
Mm-hmm.
So the characters look like really detailed. I mean, they're 2D, and they animate in a really unique way, and it looks really cool. Like, we weren't like huge fans of it, right?
Right, no, yeah.
Control was a little not quite what we were hoping for, but I mean, it's a neat idea, and it's certainly something that it's always nice to see people trying to do some more stuff with 2D.
Right on.
Because it would really stink if it died.
Man. So when can the folks expect to see more coverage on SVC Chaos?
Well, later this week for starters.
Right on. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We're going to come back to you in a moment and talk a little bit about some Yoshinoya. And actually, we got a couple questions about Yoshinoya already. But before we do that, we're actually going to take a look at the now foretold about trip to Japan that me and Ricardo took. We cut together a little video that I'm actually going to be talking over and telling you a little bit about. There's a little music underneath it, so we're going to go ahead and roll that right now, so check it out. The crazy thing about Japan, of course, is that there's tons of like trains and subways and different places to go, so you can pretty much get anywhere you need to get to just by the subway and the trains. Yeah, I mean, of course,
Kinda.
For some of it we had to take the bullet train, and if I could see the action, you know, the neatest thing about Japan, of course, and we did do one video at one point on the gaming life in Japan. There's Akihabara and stuff that people need to see it. I mean, if you've never gone, if you're a video game fan, you need to go. You've got to really see. You got to really see Akihabara. You really got to see what it's all about, because while arcade games might be dead in America and arcades in general, In Japan, it's still alive and well. You go there, there's all kinds of crazy stuff they got going on. Like we said, RoboFish was just released, so they got new stuff all the time. Where, of course, you can't really find an arcade game to save your life unless you go to a pizza parlor or something now here.
Don't forget to tell them the best part.
What's that?
You can smoke and sit down while you play.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Yeah, for people that are into the smoking. Not that we're advocating that, but if you are, yeah, you can totally do that there in Japan. There are some places that cater towards different crowds. Like, I mean, there was like different floors where they had total sports games, a floor was total fighting games. They had it broken out by genre. This stuff that you're seeing right here, of course, is a little bit of the nightlife you see. This is one of the video game stores that we went to, and I mean, you can tell them, Ricardo, they've got everything, right?
They do have everything, and probably the best part about it is, you know, if you're looking for like used stuff, like the level of care people take care of like their stuff with is insane. Like when you buy a used game, it's in most of the original packaging, if not all.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like buying it new, because, you know, it's not like when you go to Blockbuster, maybe you buy a used game and, you know, people haven't quite treated it as well as they should, or even when you rent stuff. I mean...
Now, here's this one thing. The one thing that is amazing in Japan, everybody has a cell phone and everybody plays games on their cell phone. You get on a train and you can't help but see, like, I mean, you can see right here in this shot. I mean, at one point I counted and there was like 6 or 7 people all in a row almost playing games. And this is you. This is your awesome action. You want to go ahead and tell people about this?
Yeah, so there was this really cool thing I saw on these UFO catchers, which I'm sure everybody's seen. There's always something really cool every time we go. This particular year, it was like a business card holder that looked like a Game & Watch or a Famicom controller. And I really wanted it, and God.
You spent some money on that, huh?
I spent a whole lot of money on it.
Now here's one of the other stops we always take when we go to Japan. This is actually not Yoshinoya though, right? This is actually, what do they call it, Den?
No, I'm not exactly sure which one this was.
This is basically what Yoshinoya is, and as we cut out of the feed, we come back to us, and yeah, that last shot you saw there was basically a vending machine. It's crazy. When you go to buy what we call beef bowls, basically it's rice in a bowl with beef laid over the top. It's really good, by the way. Yeah, you get that stuff, but the crazy thing is how you order it. You don't go and, like, you know, waitress comes over and says, hey, you might take your order and like that. No, they cut right to the chase. You walk up to a vending machine and push a button that's basically got a picture on it, and it shows you, you know, what you're getting. And so you just stick the money in the vending machine, get this little ticket, you walk over to your table, sit down, and then the person comes over, picks up your ticket, and walks over to the chef and gets, of course, the food and brings it back to your table. Now, this is, of course, pretty much the setup for what Yoshinoya the game is. And for folks that don't know, Yoshinoya is, of course, a chain of restaurants. We actually have them here in the States too, right?
Yep, we have one in San Francisco actually by the Embarcadero.
Yeah, and they actually in America they don't have the vending thing though. Huh?
See, like ever since we got back from the trip and we got the game, I did want to go check, but I just haven't thought about it.
Right.
But you know, tomorrow let's go.
Okay. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at Yoshinoya Live. We got some footage that we're going to roll for you. We have stuff on the game space. You can check it out. The neat thing, of course, is the fact that Yoshinoya the game is pretty much, it's kind of like Root Beer Tapper, right?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty much like Root Beer Tapper. Your quest is to just serve a restaurant full of people a whole lot of noodles. It's kind of broken up in 3 shifts, you know, of like varying, you know, amounts of customers that come through. Once you've completed all 3 shifts, there's kind of like a boss fight with a fussy customer that comes in towards the end, and there's a bunch of like, the best way to describe it is like WarioWare style, really fast little button pressing sequences where you have to sort of like make the perfect sort of like dinner set for them. And that's all very cool, and it's also very, very bizarre because when you finish the meals, you're sort of like rated on like how well you did. And like sometimes if you're like really good, your like beef bowl flies off into space and stuff. So you really can't argue with that. I mean, here's like one of the customers that you this is like one of the first ones that you have to deal with. And it's all pretty easy. I mean, I'm not saying this is like the most classic game to reinvent everything, but it's like, it's cool stuff. Like, see, he just got impatient with you and you have to calm him down by bashing a button and just sort of like push him to one side. And then when like the meal's ready, you have to like mash buttons and I don't know what, but you know, it just makes it glow, so it's nice.
We have one question about Yoshinoya. This comes from Steven from 4 Oaks, North Carolina. His question is, has there been any word on if anyone such as Fresh Games / IDOS is picking up the rights to release Yoshinoya? Just wondering, since it would be an awesome game if it came out here stateside.
Don't know. It's like Fresh Games has been pretty quiet since they hit R-Type, and of course, as soon as I came back, I called everybody. I'm like, who's bringing it out? But so far, no. I mean, people are considering it. They're like looking at it, but I mean, I would imagine it'd be kind of a tough sell, other than outside of like the hardcore gamers.
You could like reskin it, right? Like Burger King could buy the rights and just change it into a Burger King game and just
Okay, probably. But yeah, so right now, we don't know, but trust me, when word breaks, we'll be the first to tell you.
Right on. We're going to actually go to some Madden questions here in a sec. Before we do, let's check in with Rich. I think Rich is standing by with Ryan Davis and Bethany, who are, of course, over on the Warcraft 3 action. And let's check in with them. Rich, you over there?
Oh, yeah, I'm over here, Ryan. Sit down, Ryan Davis and Bethany. I'm going to butcher your last name, Massimilla? That's okay. Massimilla? Close enough. All right. Cool. So right now, where are you guys, Ryan?
We're in Moonbrook right now. We're down in the Dead Mines. We're just killing as many Defias as we possibly can. Me and Bethany are hooked up with Hector, and we're just slaughtering. We're doing great in here so far. We're on the PvP server. My character's name is Bogota. Bethany's playing as Wooble. So if you want to message us, and if you're in the game, come and give us a shout. This is where we'll be.
That's Bogota, Bogota, and Wooble, Wooble, right?
Yeah, very good.
Thank you. All right, that's all I got going on over here. World of Warcraft looking pretty sweet. It's a pretty nice game. Ryan, how you doing over there?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm reading through some of the questions that we're getting in. This is a good one for Greg over here. Maybe he can talk a little bit about this, but we'll get that to it in a sec. Before we do that and get to the Stump the Editor action, let's go ahead and check out that Madden footage. I think we got it all set up. So this is, of course, a recap, a revisit of some of the questions you guys had last week for the live Madden Tiburon action that we had from Florida. So we got Jeremy Strouser on the phone again, and he's answering some more of your questions. Check us out, and we'll be right back.
People, for many of the people, they wanted to know exactly, like we touched on a little bit during the webcast, but we didn't really go into details. Can you give us a little bit on how the defensive AI has been improved in Madden 2005?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the focus on defense this year in Madden NFL 2005 was an overall theme for us to follow. So we put in the hit stick, we put in the defensive playmaker, we put in all these defensive things pre-play that you could do, but we also tune the AI really all year long. So you're going to see all new coverage, you're going to see all new angles taken by people to pursue and to tackle, and you're going to see tons of new animations that take advantage of all the new AI on the defensive side of the ball. So if a guy actually overruns a tackle, we actually have a thing we call a reach back tackle. So if he kind of over pursued, he can actually reach back and still attempt a tackle and things like that. But really, it's the AI logic in how they pursue and tackle, how they cover the ball, how they play the man versus the ball, and also in the case of like scrambling quarterback like Mike Vick, we put in some new AI for kind of containment as opposed to just rushing up the field and trying to get the sack. Kind of the adjustments that you're seeing in the NFL are some of the adjustments that we had to make on the defensive side of the ball.
That's awesome. So just basically everybody on the field is just way better at being heads up when the ball's coming toward their direction.
I think so. I think the game is getting smarter each year, and obviously with the focus on defense this year, it was obvious to work on that kind of stuff.
Right on. Excellent. Let's go ahead and move on to our next question. Our next question comes from Harold DeMillo from Santa Bernardino, California. Because of the rules that changed in the NFL this year, no team celebration, 2 correct challenges should be given a third. Will those be implemented in the game this year?
Absolutely. We work with the NFL very closely on following all the rules. The challenge thing was put in really the day it was announced. One of the other big changes this year that you don't think much of it, but when a punt or a kickoff hits the end zone now, it's now a downed ball. Where in the past it was in the case of a kickoff it was a live ball, or in the case of a punt it still had to be downed by the kicking team. It's a rule that college uses, and the NFL kind of picked that up this year. So we put that in. That actually kind of changes the game a little bit. So you can't go back and get the ball in the end zone, things like that. So we follow all those rules, and we try to get them into every version of Madden.
Excellent. Our next question comes from Mitchell Lubin from San Diego. He wants to know, will there be preseason training, and how does that work? Did you guys change that at all? I know you guys had.
Well, we have, so I read that question, and I couldn't understand exactly what he's asking, but I think he's asking about the preseason training camp that we have in the game, and I think that's something we added in Madden 2004.
And you guys kind of like integrated it to the whole franchise thing, right?
Right, exactly. What you can do is you can take 8 of your players through the various minicamp drills that we have in, and boost their player player ratings that way in the preseason. And I think that's kind of a fun way to kind of give your players a little bit of a boost and that kind of thing. One of the other things we added this year in franchise mode was the ability to practice with your franchise team. So you can go right from the main menu of franchise mode. So if you're in year 27 of your franchise or something like that, you can play with that team that you actually have there. In the past, it was kind of a convoluted way to actually get them on the practice field.
Right on. Excellent. So one of the last questions I'll leave you with that was one of the most popular, of course, is how do fans of EA Sports games submit their comments to EA and its various studios, such as Tiburon? Specifically, are there message boards, email addresses, etc. that users can send feedback to?
There are, and we read the message boards at easports.com. That's always a great place to start if you want to do kind of forum interaction type stuff. And there's lots of individual fan sites out there and the forums there at GameSpot and things like that. But it's we have a direct email link to the Madden team anyway that they can email. It's Madden Mail, that's all one word, at EA.com. And believe it or not, we actually read every message that comes in, including all the spam message and stuff like that we have no idea how we get, but we read them and we get them, and we sort through them and we look at everything. We try to get everything into the game, and we love reading that stuff.
That's awesome. I guess that's the way you make it better, right? Listen to the people that play it the most.
I think so. I think that's one of the things that makes Madden as popular as it does is I think we're really in touch with the people that are playing the game and the people who do talk about the game and have fun playing the game. And I think if you look around the various fan sites, you're going to see that all of the administrators talk to us and we do interviews with them and things like that, and they have fun with us. So it's not just our game. We're not making a game for us. We're making a game for everybody out there who plays it and loves to play it.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for your time again, Jeremy.
Sure, no problem.
Appreciate the follow-up, as I'm sure everybody that got those questions answered.
All right, great.
Until next time, good luck, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, we're back here with Ryan and Bethany. Looks like you guys almost had a fourth member. What happened to Valley Girl, Ryan?
Valley Girl, she was on her way to join us in the mines, but apparently she was only level 13, and this is an elite quest area, so she wasn't quite able to make it in here without getting off. But we'll catch up with her in a minute. We'll be able to get her back and get her into the fold. But right now, it's me and Bethany and Hector, and we are just killing these Defias diggers.
Like for sure, could I say, for Valley Girl, rest in peace?
Yes. For her sake, for her namesake, you can say that this once.
I just did. I'm going to say it again. Like for sure. That's great. So coming up next, have you ever been cruising through the GameSpot community and you've seen something and you're just like, did that person really just write that? Well, that happens to us too. We're human as well. And we have a little segment here for us where our good friend, the Trivia Robot, takes it upon himself to answer some of the little more, I guess we'll say, crazier posts you find in the forum. So, Trivia Robot, my man, take it away.
It is I, the Let's GameSpot Trivia Robot, here taking precious time out of my schedule to address the questions and concerns of my beloved nerd community. These are actual forum posts. Salvage Runner writes to us about two things. First of all, when I post a message, it will sometimes spam, as you can see in the topic. Who's cooler, Tanner or Tommy? How do you fix it? Second, Tommy is cooler. Dragonelle asks us about our sensitive political processes. How are the mods chosen here? I'm just curious. All applicants must mediate a panel discussion on Tommy and Tanner. Who's cooler? These questions are lame. Let's go to the email. Barry Timber writes, Hi guys, hi Barry. I'd just like to say how much I like your Let's GameSpot feature, but when are you gonna get rid of the extremely annoying Trivia Robot? That thing needs to be retired, or upgraded to version 2, which will have a much less annoying voice. Barry, want to hear my version 2 voice? See you next week, nerds. You are welcome.
Trivia Robot, thank you so much for giving us the user rant. And here I am, of course. Joining me now is our good friend, Executive Editor Greg Kasavin. How you doing?
Pretty good.
And I think I always say that wrong when we get on there, because it's actually Kasavin, right?
Kasavin, whatever. They're all fine.
There's one person that definitely knows your name. This is a question that comes in. This just came in from Girl Gamer, location England, UK. Question: would Jeff or Greg ever consider dating a true hardcore gamer girl like me? If so, get in contact. I love you guys. So what is the word on, at least for you?
Well, the word for me is I'm attached, so I think that's probably... Jeff, though, he's looking into getting a big place for himself. And
right.
I don't know, it's kind of a long-distance relationship, though, and Justin Calvert just moved out here from the UK, though. Maybe he could get us some good deals on one of those travel sites, cheap tickets, you know.
On to a little bit more of a serious question. Greg Cassavin, do you think, this comes from Will Griswold from Delaware. Will asks, Mr. Cassavin, do you think that World of Warcraft will come out this year?
I think signs point to yes on that, actually. Even though Blizzard has not committed to Blizzard hasn't committed to a release date for the game, but as you can see from the beta, it's running along pretty swimmingly, and you know, I don't think Blizzard is going to sit out this holiday season without putting that game out there. I would be surprised if it didn't ship later this year.
Another question came in for you from Oliver Barrich, Ontario, Canada. And speaking of which, I did see the comment that came in. It is Canada Day. We give Canada props, so Canada Day. This is Oliver Branch, Ontario, Canada. Do you feel the video game market has become saturated with sequels and copies of successful franchises, i.e. skateboarding games becoming more rampant after Tony Hawk was successful? Are we heading for a crash?
Wow. Well, the are we heading for a crash question is actually addressed in my game spotting column coming up this Sunday. It's funny that should come in. As for whether there are too many sequels, I mean, I don't really think so. I think there's a big difference between a good sequel and a bad sequel. I think one of the things that video games can do really well is just sort of improve upon kind of popular and successful concepts. So we've got certain types of sequels that we're really, really excited about. These games like Halo 2 and Burnout 3, they look like they're going to deliver the stuff that we really, really liked about previous games, but more so, and with more options and online play and things like that. It's going to really change the experience, but bring back these concepts that we really like. On the other hand, you do get these kind of rehashes every now and then, and companies do like to play it safe. You know, if a game is successful, then just turn out another one. But it's not quite that simple. I think the good news is the game industry as a whole understands that innovation is very important to long-term success. With that said, you can't build your business around innovation because you can't just keep innovating with every single product. So you see these big companies like EA, they're trying to be very methodical about it, and they take some risks. At the same time, they're going to kind of play it pretty straight on other occasions. So I think it's a question of finding that right balance between having a good number of new franchises every year and having a good number of sequels. As for now, yeah, maybe there are a few too many sequels these days.
Excellent, thank you. This one just came in from Austin Starr, San Diego, California. His question is, and this is a Stump the Editor question, so, and it is fighting game related. I think this is more of a me and Jeff fighting game, but
I don't know, man.
Austin asks, how many versions of Final Moves are in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3?
How many versions of Final Moves?
Yeah, so I think he's probably talking.
Fatality. Do mercies count? See, that's a real. I don't know. You've got fatalities. You've got animalities. You've got friendships. Did they have babalities in MK3? They did. Yeah. I think that's about it. Yeah, and mercies, whether or not you choose to count those.
Yeah.
So I've been practicing my jacks, man. So later on.
Yeah, we just got that machine in, and it's been some fun after hours.
That game holds up well after all these years.
Here comes a question from Bob from Savannah, Georgia. His question is, which do you think will end up being better, Jak 3 or Ratchet and Clank 3?
Oh man. I'm more partial to the Ratchet and Clank games. They're more about kind of blowing stuff up. Which one is going to be better? I have no idea. I always withhold judgment until I play the finished game. From what I've heard, I haven't played the multiplayer of Ratchet myself, but apparently that was really popular at E3. So Ratchet is like tried and true, and then they're going to add this cool multiplayer mode on top of it. So that game seems like it's headed in a good direction.
As I'm looking through, there was actually a question in here. How many people review a game? This comes from Mike in Boston. How many people, and this kind of dovetails nicely into what you were just saying, how many people review a game, or is it one person? And if it is more than one, do you guys average a score to come up with a final rating? Thanks, GameSpot Complete member for life.
That's like how many people review a game for GameSpot?
Yeah, they're asking like for one single game.
Right. Well, one person reviews a game for GameSpot. That's why we've got one name at the end of the review. But we do have like a pretty elaborate editorial process just to make sure that every review is watertight and basically that the score is fully justified by the text of the review. And basically I can go on and on for many hours about the philosophy of our review system. It's what I spend most of my time thinking about. And there is, in fact, a very elaborate written explanation, which you could get to by clicking on the About Our Rating System link that's underneath every single score in our reviews.
Fantastic. We're going to check in with Rich real quick on the World of Warcraft action. Before we do, though, I want to give that number out one more time. We had some technical difficulties and wanted to make sure you guys got your calls in before we check out, although we're almost out of time. The number, of course, once again, is 415-344-1980. That's to give us a call here at the GameSpot offices. Once again, it is a toll call, so if you do not have your parents' permission, please get it first. Of course, for those of you over 18, give us a call. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check in with Rich and Bethany and Ryan Davis and see what's happening in World of Warcraft.
All right, we're back over here with Ryan and Bethany, and now if I get this straight, you guys are running through a mine, and you're beating up people with names like Worker and Miner. Now, they're just trying to do their 9 to 5, and you're coming in and sticking them. What's up with that?
Well, these guys have decided to align themselves with the Thieves Guild, and, we're protectors of the Alliance, so we have to regulate. That's just what we do.
Did you attack them first, or did they attack you first?
I believe it was them gaffling all of our stuff. It was them being thieves that sort of prompted us coming in here and deciding to whip up on them, so that's what we're doing.
Okay, I see Valley Girl's joined up with you again. Bethany, how's Valley Girl doing?
She's doing pretty good. I'm making sure she stays shielded so she doesn't get totally wiped out. But yeah, she's holding her own. She's doing good.
Like for sure, level 13. Now, what level are you guys, Ryan?
I'm currently at level 20. I actually just got here last night, and it feels real good.
Now it's a 20 out of...
Currently, I believe the level cap is at 50, so I still have a ways to go before I top out on this. So I'm having fun with it, and I'm going to keep playing.
How long did it take you to get to level 20, would you say?
Oh, well, I could find out here. Let me see here. 2 days, 12 hours, 3 minutes, and 44 seconds.
I'm just going to say that's a long time and very impressive, Ryan.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, that's a big time commitment for sure.
Now, another thing that was a big time commitment, thank you, Ryan, was GameSpot Live's E3 DVD. It's about, I'd say, 11 hours worth of content. My favorite bit is our hour-long documentary called Stupid Pants Operation, GameSpot at E3. There's a whole lot of other crazy stuff, but you might be wondering, when is it coming out? Now, a little guy named Ryan McDonald probably knows what's going on with the DVD. Ryan, are you ready over there?
I'm kind of ready. In all honesty, since we get out that number again and got our technical difficulties in check, we actually got a bunch of calls and a bunch more questions. I think we're going to actually get a call queued up here, and I think we're ready. If we can get that, I think we might need a little bit time. In the meantime, while they get that set up, I'm going to actually ask you over there, Rich, Bethany, and Ryan Davis. I'm sorry, Rich, Ryan Davis, and Bethany. If I could ask you guys a World of Warcraft question while they get that phone stuff set up real quick, is that cool?
Yeah, go right ahead.
The question comes in from Darren in Sacramento, California. First off, I love the new feature you guys came up with. He has a question about character leveling in World of Warcraft. I usually play massively multiplayer online RPGs alone, only grouping when it suits me. Anyways, if I was wondering if it is 1, possible, 2, difficult to level and play the game as a loner, and by the way, his cat is the Trivia Robot's #1 fan. So is that possible? Can he play alone?
Did you guys hear that question?
Yeah, about soloing. Yeah, no, soloing is completely possible. We're currently on a quest that is regarded as elite, and it's one that you definitely do need to have a group for. The game does encourage you to group, but it is entirely possible to play solo. I actually tend to play a lot of my missions solo, so you can do it. And so if that is kind of, you like lone wolf in it, then World of Warcraft, it can do that for you.
Could you make an estimate, actually, if you wanted to do this level, this elite mission right here, what level would you have to be to go by yourself? Would you say, like, is this like a 30-40 thing versus the 20 you guys are in the groups, or?
Oh, you'd probably have to be at least mid-20s to try to solo this one, at least.
And that's like another like day and a half so playing by yourself.
Just about, yeah.
All right, cool. Darren, I hope that answers your question. Ryan, back over to you.
We got all kinds of questions, but we're running out of time. I would like to get to the phone stuff. We'll catch up on some of those next week. In the meantime, the one question that I would like to answer before we go, if possible, will be the 2 fighting game question. Since this comes from Joshua from Illinois. Since 2 fighting games will be released for the Xbox this year so far, SNK vs. Capcom plus DOA Extreme, which one do you think will play better online?
Well, the verdict is, of course, still out, but I'm going to have to say I'm personally more excited about DOA Online just because, or DOA Ultimate, because they've had all this time since DOA 3 came out basically to get it working online, and I think they've judging by what Tecmo has done with Ninja Gaiden, some of the online stuff there, they're working through the kinks. I think they have more resources to pull off a really impressive online game. So Dead or Alive 3 wasn't my favorite fighting game in the world, but I'm actually super excited about this next one because to me, the difference between being able to play online and not is all the difference in the world.
Excellent. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, when SNK versus Capcom versus SNK2, that game.
We got hooked on that real bad.
Oh, totally. I pop it in every once in a while. And now Fight Night, I'm stuck on it playing every single night. I can't stop playing it. So, but yeah, that's about all the time we have. Sorry about the phone technical difficulties. We'll get that sorted out by next week. Of course, next week, Thursday, 4 p.m., be here. We're going to be live again from our GameSpot offices. Hope you guys have a good 4th of July. In the meantime, if you have any feedback for us, since it's such a new thing and it is all about you guys, we definitely are doing this to bring the information and give you guys a little fun entertainment as much as you want. So basically, send us some feedback at onthespot@gamespot.com. We'll be checking the mail and seeing what the feedback is and adjusting the show accordingly. So once again, for GameSpot Live, I'm Ryan McDonald. To our studio crew, Jim, Tyler, Tim, Dave, everybody here in the offices. Greg, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks. And
I'm sure we'll get a ton more questions in the meantime. So until next week, be sure to catch out Let's GameSpot, of course, button mashing, all the fun stuff we got going on. Until next week, take it easy.
There we go. Big wheels keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin. Singing songs about the Southland. I miss Alabama once again. I think it's the same. You can tell the cheerleader's really feeling it. Loves the fogey. Well, I heard Mr. Young sing about her. Well, I heard old Neil put her down. Well, I hope Neil Young will remember. A southern man don't need him around anyhow. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. In Birmingham, they love the governor. Fool, 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 and we all did what we could do. Now Watergate does not bother me. Does your conscience bother you? Tell the truth. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Here I come, Alabama. All right, that felt good.